Well, morning, guys. It's 9:12 in the morning, Sunday, the 3rd of November, 2024. Oh, yeah. We're at Roseman, in California, just watching all the news stuff going on right now, and it is nuts. I caught up on a Australian news flash roughly several hours ago on YouTube. They were talking about potential retaliation methods that Iran's threatening against Israel and the United States. And then they started to try to do a further explanation on how to confuse people. A little bit of word salad, but a basic gist is Iran's got nukes. How the hell did they test them? Without us knowing about it, we know that they were developing nuclear technology. And then somewhere in that they were developing weaponry. And what I was catching on Al Jazeera on YouTube, just a little bit of a clip, but I didn't see the whole entire thing, was an Israeli warship going through the Suez Canal, leaving Israel, going through Egypt, and heading for the Gulf of Aden, I think. But we are talking about something I kept quiet because I hadn't seen anything on the corporate media nor the independents on this one. If this is the case for it, then we are in trouble. Because I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing next at this point. I am pulling up Google Maps on my computer. I'm going to be posting some stuff. I mean, earlier, past few days, I've been having computer issues, having problems with my cable. So I got a guy coming out. I'm not quite sure if it's my computer going out or not, but we're going to be getting a technician out here to take a look, see what's going on. But I have to gather other news sources from different places. And that means dealing with him. No, dealing with anybody else for that matter. Okay, so when I was talking about the warship, when you're leaving the Mediterranean, you're going through the Gulf, the Suez Canal. That means you're heading into the Red Sea, and from there, rounding the curve into the Gulf of Aden, heading into the Indian Ocean, straight up to the Persian. Straight up the Persian Gulf. Which means, boys and girls, we are in for it. Israel is stationary, and I can't confirm it just yet with other things. If it is legitimate, if it is legitimate, then currently we are in trouble. Now, I know we got a fleet out there already. Israel is one of our allies, but are they going to warn them off? Does Israel have the right to defend itself? Yes, but once these guys get to the Red Sea and go over to Yemen, we have the Houthis going to be having fun with the Israeli warship. I'm wondering if that's the only warship they've got. But they'll say they probably won't even have any issues with them anyway. On Qatar, we've got our fleet stationed. So we're going in for this, aren't we? This is what scares me. This is what scares me. How are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Israel is going to respond. If they're not going to do the tit for tat, I would not put it past them. Excuse me, one quick second, guys. Sorry about that. What I'm worried about is tensions escalating. It may take about a day or two for the warship to get through the Red Sea, if it's not there already, through the Gulf of Aden, and into the Persian Gulf. And it's during these areas that things are going to happen real damn fast. It's one thing when I'm watching fictional political and military stuff, but I'm seeing this happening right now again. I have not seen this kind of escalation or tension since the first Gulf War, and then the second Gulf War. Well, we actually had two countries engaged, Afghanistan and Iraq, bypassing Iran altogether. That wasn't bad enough. We also had Syria to deal with. But this, if I'm maneuvering a ship to the Persian Gulf, that would give the Iranian ships permission to engage the Israelis directly head on that one. It would give the Houthis permission to engage. Even if the ship was stuck in Red Sea or coming through, the Houthis would try to block commerce. I don't know what our forces are like out in the Gulf. But even just one or two warships from our own fleet out there would give Houthis something to think about, especially if the Israelis are coming down the pipeline or stationed at the pipeline from the Gulf and the Red. If they engaged in that area, it would be tying up commerce like crazy. But also it'll be off of Iran. Now, let's just say that the Houthis didn't engage, and Israel actually did maneuver its warship to the Persian Gulf. In that area, you would also have the U.S. fleet, if they are indeed stationed in that area. They have aircraft carrier, and you have missile destroyers. So how are we going to be able to do this, guys? And you're thinking that it's not going to affect us, right? If we get skin in the game, and I mean if we get blood in it, I mean we already got blood in the game in Israel regarding the situation out there. If Iran is getting more skin in our game, not just engaging our ships, actually engaging in our ships directly through proxies or by them, we are talking about the situation is going to be going nuts in the UN Council. Security Council is going to be going crazy and yelling at the ambassadors for this one. We're going to be seeing how things are being screwed up at this point. Now, how is this going to affect us? It's going to be your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. Having this coffee leak all over the place. If our forces withdraw and leave Israel there, it's still between Iran and Israel. But if we get our ships involved in this situation, then we are committing U.S. forces between U.S. and Iran. If we can't help negotiate a a peaceful situation in the Persian Gulf, then worst case scenario is we're going to go tit for tat for any kind of ships that happen in the area. Of course, the United States will be acting on defense, not offense, which means they're going to have to fire the first shot. And then we got to retaliate. Unfortunately, if the Houthis back off, Iran's losing face. But if the Houthis attack, it's showing Iran's insanity and involvement in the situation. But I'm trying to think of the scenarios. I'm trying to think in my head what the battle scenarios are. I've never been in military combat before. I've never been in a military period. So yeah, this is stressing. Not sure what to think, not sure what to believe, not too sure what we're going to be doing at this point. Because if we happen to get into a situation, we're really going to be we're going to be really screwed. And having Israel maneuver their ships out there, I know they're saying that they wanted to defend their borders. They want to defend their. I can understand that, and they want to stop Iran from launching missiles. Now, if Iran's going to be launching missiles, it's presumed from a couple of sources out there on YouTube that they want to use somebody else to do the dirty work. Definitely not Syria, so it would have to come from Lebanon. It would have to come from them. Syria wouldn't get involved, neither would Jordan. Jordan is not going to touch it. Neither is Egypt. So the only one to use is Lebanon to fire launchings through there. Or, if Iran's really going to be doing it, they'll be launching straight through Jordan or Syria, for that matter. If the missiles are intercepted by Jordan from their pathways, it's going to have to go directly through Iraq and Syria just to get to Israel. We are talking to missile technology here. I think I talked about this one once before. Because after looking at the maps and seeing how they're going to be, how they're coming after people left and right, this is what scares the hell out of me. Trying to track, trying to maneuver, trying to understand. It's not the politics. It's the actions. I played some simulation games before. It doesn't make me a military expert or even an armchair expert to think like I know everything. I don't. There's too many variables in the game. Too much. And I'm not quite sure what we're dealing with right now. I got local news on one of my web browsers right now, trying to keep track of what's going on with the weather. I'm hoping to keep track of national, but because of my connection feeds, they're not giving me much information out there. I have to be signed on through a cable provider to get that information. And since I'm already having cable information screwed up right now, there's no way I'm going to be able to get that much information except through websites. So now I gotta work with what I've got. And it does make me concerned. It does make me concerned on how they're going to attack. Iran's going to attack on Israel. Through which way? Possibly a narrow field from Iran going through Iraq, Syria, into Israel. Because if they have to get through Jordan's space, no way in hell we're going to be dealing with that one. But what I'm trying to say is, Things like that are going to be affecting us down the road here. They're going to be terrifying the crap out of it. They're going to be scaring the living crap out of us. We don't know what's going to happen next. Crazy situations we got, isn't it? Hell of a thing for me to think about this morning.